Signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Mazzaroth Decoded 22. Welcome back, family. It's June the 7th, 2025. We're back on it. Forgive me for being gone for so long. It has been one rough, crazy ride, but we're back and we are going to dig into the signs that I found in the Mazzaroth. We're looking at the constellation of Taurus, and we have Comet 164P Christensen lining up with the golden gate of the ecliptic today, approximately 1700 Pacific time. So it just lined up not too long ago. And we're looking at a very, very important alignment. The last time that we saw this comet, and I reported on it, it was lined up with the tail of Cetus, or the sea dragon, or the great whale. And it's now made its way into the head of Taurus. This is the location that is between the Pleiades and the Hyades. This comet is basically right in the Hyades as we speak, and it is in transition through the head of Taurus. And I found a couple things in the Mazzaroth when I was looking yesterday. I had about a half hour to jump on. I'm in a location where I can do a little bit of searching, but with my schedule, it's just been almost impossible. I've been working overtime, and uh, I just got hurt on the job, and I'm trying to take a break. Um, as many of you know, I have a broken spine. Um, and it causes a lot of problems with work. So I have some sciatic issues that I'm dealing with. And I have a big job that I have to start tomorrow. It's a big 3-day job, and I want to get this. I'm not going to have any time after today. So I wanted to do this report, and this is going to cover the next 3 days, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And we'll get back to it on after that, but I'm going to show you what I have found over the next 3 days. It's pretty crazy. We're going to show you a couple things that look forward, but that's not going to be really part of um, this decode. We're more focused on 1 to 3 days on these reports. So because I can't get back for at least 3 days, I'm going to go ahead and include the sign that I found coming up on the 9th. And as I was searching, I found Comet Linear that I'm going to hopefully report on. As many of you know, I'm still using this Stellarium web. I just have not had a chance to I don't have a location where I can do any of this stuff, so my computer's just been in my backpack. And until I'm hoping to get an apartment coming up middle of the month, maybe even on the 11th. But until then, I don't have a place to. I don't have any of my notes with me. I don't have any of the list of signs that I found. I have an entire chart that I worked on for all of June, and I listed all the signs that I had hunted when I was having time to do that, but I just don't have the time. So I'm only going to be reporting on what's basically right in front of me and the things that I have seen that are standing out. And then we're going to come back hopefully in a couple days and we'll begin doing a lot more in-depth reporting. Again, I should be in a place by the 11th, we're hoping. So that'll change everything. I'll have Wi-Fi and I'll be able to start doing regular posting, but I just don't have that right now. I'm lucky to even have um, a place to post right now. It's been very frustrating. It's been very difficult. This has all been extremely difficult. The Washington thing was one of the most difficult times of my life. Um, it almost killed me. I don't have the health to be in certain areas with the weather and the temperatures, and I'm just pushing myself way too hard and way too much for my health conditions. So I'm back here in Oregon, and I'm working, and I need to excuse me. I need to focus on my health and get into a regular place to live because everything that I've been doing with trying to make all of this functional uh, living on the road is just not it's impossible for me to do these reports. So forgive me for being gone for so long, but I'm doing my best with what I have. We're looking at Comet Christensen again at aligning with the golden gate of the ecliptic. This is the location between the Pleiades and the Hyades. Most of the planets, the sun, moon, transition through this ecliptic line. And this is very important location in the heavens. Um, as we know, Taurus is a sign of judgment, and it can also be a sign of blessing. Also, there's always the flip side, and with the Pleiades and the Hyades, the differentiation between the two houses. We can really look at this as the wise and the unwise virgins, or the called out ones, and then the ones that are in the world. And we can see that this comet is aligning with the Hyades, and the name alone should raise some eyebrows. I did find that 164 in gematria it equals escape. So let's go ahead and look at these codes. This is Comet Christensen, and this is June 7th, aligning with the golden gate of the ecliptic. Comet Christensen equals 88. Hercolobus is red tsunami, end of the Antichrist, the truth rises, synagogue of Satan, Anunnaki returned, currency collapse, I crushed the snake, third angel sound, monoatomic elements, the Gnostic pleroma, Jesus, King of Love, alien matrix cheat code, Yahweh is the dragon. Prince of the Devils, Decode 144. COVID vaccination card. I love you, family. Israel, God's fig trees, nuclear option, Neuralink implant. So those are the codes for Comet Christensen. We can see that there are some really amazing alignments happening here in the Taurus constellation. We have the sun literally sitting directly between the horns of Taurus, and we have Uranus sitting in the heart of the bull. And if we get in here a little closer, I believe Psyche is here along with Hygiea. So we have asteroid Hygiea, and I thought I saw Psyche in here. Let's see. So we can see there's Comet Biela, and I thought I saw Psyche. We will have to hunt that down. But we have Comet Biela with the sun, and we have Hygiea here, and we have this comet, like I said, aligning here in the head of Taurus. And what we want to do is we want to look at what is just above. So we have Jupiter and Mercury that are directly in the Silver Gate, and you can see the Milky Way coming directly through here. You can see how it goes through Monoceros, right above Canis Major, and directly through the arm of Orion, and directly through the foot of Gemini, Castor, and then through the arm and the body of Auriga. And this is the area called the Silver Gate. And this is considered the gate of men. And this is also what we would call the bridal gate. And the reason I say that is because Castor and Pollux in the ancient time was a bride and a bridegroom. And you have Gemini as a dual constellation. In today's picture, it's two brothers, two males, but in the ancient times, again, it was a bride and a bridegroom, or a male and a female. And we have Jupiter and Mercury literally sitting right at the foot of the bride. And these are very, very important signs when it comes to the escape of the bride, having both of these directly in the gate. And that's happening today. So let's watch this transition through the next couple days. And let's get back to the comet. We're going to look at here. We're going to look at the alignment here. So we have our alignment with the Taurus constellation, and that's happening on the 10th. And what I found right before this happens, we're going to go ahead and look at this transition really quick. And I want you to pay attention to Jupiter and Mercury. We're going to watch this transition back. Not this is today. And then we're looking at the comet moving off of the Golden Gate of the ecliptic and moving into the head of Taurus. And now we have Mercury passing Jupiter. And then on the 10th, during the alignment, we now have Jupiter directly at the foot, and Mercury is transitioning into the bride. And again, Jupiter is considered the king. Mercury is a messaging angel. Mercury is also the angel of healing. And we have Comet Christensen aligning with Taurus. This is a direct alignment with the constellation. And we see the sun transitioning directly into the Silver Gate. And you can see that it's right on the border of the Milky Way. As Jupiter and Mercury, if we go one more day, we can see now Jupiter is literally touching the foot. And so let's go ahead and go back. And what we're going to be looking at now is a very important sign that I found. This is really important sign in the Mazzaroth. We're looking at the constellation of Cetus. And this is the great sea dragon, the beast of the sea. This is represented by Neptune and Saturn. And we have Neptune as the lord of the sea. And we have Saturn as a representation of Satan. Now, in the constellation on the 9th, we have a very important thing happening here on the 9th. Again, if you remember, Ceres is the goddess of marriage. And Ceres is currently in the constellation of Cetus, and it's the only heavenly body that is in the constellation of Cetus until the 9th. So what I want to do now is I want to transition to Venus, and I want to let's see, I'm going to go ahead and go forward a couple hours, and then I have to get this right on. Now we're looking at the constellation of Cetus, and we have all the lines here, and you can see if we back it out, this is the only problem I'm going to have. Okay, we can see it from right here. So let me back this up, and we can see how on the 8th of Venus is in the constellation of Pisces, and it makes its transition on the 9th into the constellation of Cetus. and it's only there for one day. Let's go ahead and see if we can do this. Um, so it's only in there. See, it's in order for me to have. Let's see if we can do it from there. So on 6/9, it begins its transition around 3:30, and it enters into the constellation. And see the way I have to do this, I can't really see. And it's basically in there for 24 hours, a little longer than 24 hours, from 6/9 until 6:10 in the morning. It's basically a 24-hour period where the bright and morning star Venus transitions through the head of Cetus. And this is heads or tails. It looks as though we have the bright and morning star in the head, and we have Neptune and Saturn at the tail, along with Ceres. And this is a very important sign because it is below the ecliptic, and most of the time Venus is above the ecliptic, and we watched Venus transition through Pisces and Pegasus. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and go back. Let's watch this transition really quick. I just want you to watch this transition above and below the ecliptic. So we can see Venus, um, 2024, late 2024 was below the ecliptic. And then at the water stream, Venus rose above the ecliptic and went into the constellation of Pisces and Pegasus, and then it went back below the ecliptic, and now we're seeing that transition here today. And then on the 9th, it enters into the constellation of Cetus. And again, we were looking at the Comet Christensen. We also have Comet Linear. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to uh, pull this up. I lost it. There's Psyche, but I have Linear is here, but again, it's not letting me pull it up. And Linear was Linear was here at the head, and it's just not. I believe it was here. So, as always, these comets just come and go, and it's really weird how that works with Stellarium. It makes using the online very, very difficult for this kind of work. So until I have the ability to use the downloaded version. I'm just having a lot of difficulty because that was part of the report. Is Comet Linear? But we're going to have to come back when I can get that again. But if we watch Venus transition into that position, then we see a couple things in the Mazzaroth at that point. So on the 9th, if you remember, on the 10th is when Christensen aligns with the eye of the bull or Aldebaran. It makes its alignment with the constellation, and that's happening on the 10th. And that is as Venus is exiting Cetus. We have Jupiter and Mercury transitioning into, let's see here, I believe it's on the 10th. It's on the 11th where Jupiter transitions into Gemini. And let's look at that a little closer just to make sure we're on track. Right. So on the 11th, we have Jupiter entering into the constellation. And then we're also looking at Comet Biela lining with it's just going directly with the sun as this alignment happens. We have Biela aligning with um, the constellation of Gemini, both Bielas, and then we have the sun coming into this alignment. And this is, again, family, this is the sign of the bride. Here we have all of these in the house of Gemini. And look who just showed up. So we also have Davida, Jupiter, Mercury. Where is Mercury? Oh, Mercury transitioned. Oh, wow. Okay. So we're going to have to come back and report on that. It looks as though we have a really incredible alignment here. Look at this, family. On the 13th, you have Mercury aligning with the bride, and Jupiter is right at the foot. And you have the sun directly between the horns of Taurus. You have Davida right there at the club of Orion. There's just more showing up. Iris is right there. Letitia. And I'm sure if we would still have Christensen in the mix, that would be showing up. But it has also gone away, and I can't seem to find that now either. So I'm going to have to do some work to pull those up because we basically have four comets that are right here. We have Biela, Christensen, and Linear that are all in this zone. And I am trying to report on all of those. So we'll get back to that. But it looks like we have a very important alignment coming up on the 13th. And then if we move forward, we have on the 20th, we have a very important alignment here with Lambda Tauri. And there it is. Okay, here we go. We found linear. So on the 20th, let's pull this up and let's watch this alignment. So we have a very important alignment here is 217p linear aligning with Lambda Tauri. And this is very, very important alignment. We've been tracking Comet Linear. We're going to come back and do an extended report on all of these after a couple days. But we can see how on that night we have linear in Taurus, which is a sign of judgment. And let me do this real fast. I just want to do this for. I have to go into my account for doing my designs, and I want to pull up linear here. So on our last time we had linear was on March the 14th. It was aligned with the band of the Eastern Fish. And Comet Linear is King Jesus, Captain America, Lion of Judah, White Lion, Mary Magdalena, Freemasons, the Mark of Cain, Idol Shepherd, Hold on, I'm coming, Redeemed Israel, God is coming, Celestials, House of God, the Barbello Code, the Higgs Boson, God's wrath, brimstone, Biden end times, and Obama harlot. So that's going to be coming up real soon with this alignment of Venus and the head of Cetus. And again, it's only in there for one day. This is like a judgment sign on the sea dragon because Venus is the bright and morning star, and that is when it is a representation of Christ. When it's the evening star, it's the sign of the bride. This is a sign of Christ crushing the head of the sea serpent. And we can see that Saturn and Neptune are sitting right here at the tail of Cetus. And again, family, um, we have the angel of marriage inside of the constellation of Cetus, and so it's pointing to the marriage supper of the Lamb. We have a judgment sign lining up with linear entering into Taurus. Again, we also today we have Christensen in the head of Taurus. And these things are all pointing to a coming judgment. And it's also pointing to the marriage, the bride and the bridegroom, and everything lining up at the foot of the bride right now. So it's important for us to keep our heads on a swivel. Things look to be going crazy in the world today, and we really need to stay aware of the things that are happening in the Mazzaroth. One of the things that I noticed on that same time frame of the night is the moon is making its transition into Scorpio, and it lines up here uh, with Antares right in the morning of the 10th, early in the morning, and the moon is at 99%. And 99 again is a sign of rapture. And on the opposite side of the ecliptic, we know that we're looking at this great sign in Taurus. And so we can see that it's all pointing to very important upcoming signs in the heavens. And I wanted to do my best to bring this out for the body of Messiah before um, I get back. I'm on a 3-day job. I won't be able, I'll be beat. I will not have any time or energy to do anything. So we're going to come back in about 4 days, and then we'll begin our reporting again. Hopefully, I'll be able to start doing this almost daily coming up on the 4th. Even if it's just quick reports, I'll at least have a place to do that from if everything works out. Um, we will see you very soon, and thanks to all who supported me through my transition through Washington and all the things that I had to do up there. We got all of that handled, and now what I'm trying to do is just get established so that I can get into long-term housing, and I'm up working again, but it's very precarious. So please pray. I had another injury, and I'm just resting right now so that I can get back to work. So please pray that I have no more injuries and that I have my strength to continue working, because it's the only way I'm going to be able to do this kind of work. I don't have enough coming in from support to do this kind of work full time. I have to just go to work and then just take this on part time the best that I can. So thanks again for coming, and thanks for being patient. We're back, and we're hoping to be able to start doing this a lot more. I don't even have any of my notes, so hopefully this was a blessing, and we'll get back to doing a lot more in-depth reporting very soon. Have a great day, and we will see you very soon.